I am Jan Lawrence, and I am board chairman of the Dry Ridge Museum Board. And I am a descendant of Montreville Weaver and Jane Eliza Baird. She came, and her father was Beaton Baird. Beaton Baird and his brother Zebulon were the first two merchants in Asheville, and they had 3 of the original town lots in Asheville. And the Bairds before that were from the Boston Tea Party. The Bairds have been here in the United States a long time. And so Montreville and Jane's third daughter married Wiley Francis Parker from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And he was a preacher. And he was in the Civil War, but he got sick and left the Civil War and went to South Carolina and felt God's calling was for him to help establish black churches in Spartanburg, South Carolina, which he did, and in Anderson County. So we have an organ that's an ST organ from the organ company that was built about 1888 and came from one of those churches in Spartanburg. A few months ago, maybe a year now, Mr. Nathaniel Brooks contacted me through Geraldine and J.T. Ray and said he had a gun that he would like to donate to the museum to place in the museum. So I had a delightful visit with Mr. Brooks on his front porch, and we talked about the gun, and he told me the history of it. And he donated it to us. I carried it home. I had a gun specialist look at it. He cleaned it a little bit, didn't need much cleaning. It's not operable, and Julian Rice made a cherry case for it that came from the Rims Creek community. So the shotgun is where it needs to be, its home. And I have worked with Geraldine and J.T. Ray on the history of a lot of the families in Weaverville who are so much a part of this great quilt of ours. We have a lot of beautiful quilt blocks, the Brooks quilts and others, the Bairds, the Weavers. And so we put our big quilt together because we're all important to the quilt and all a part of it. I had the distinct pleasure a couple of months ago of meeting Earnest, who came and looked at the gun and said, I would like to make a further presentation. So what we have here is a beautiful portrait of the Brooks family. It has some of the members of the family. There were some who did not submit a picture, and they're noted. And it's a very significant part of our museum collection, and will be placed near the gun. The museum board will have to decide exactly how we can arrange all of this. And it came through the generosity of Earnest. And here on the Zeb Vance case are 2 more important things that we have been given. The write-up of William Brooks' shotgun, okay, and the write-up of the historical perspective of the African American heritage of Weaverville. It is my pleasure also to show you the Montreville Weaver Bible that lists the birth and marriage of Jane Eliza Baird and her death also, plus some more historical information about the Baird family and several folders on the Bairds. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, Earnest.
And thank you. And as I stated to you previously, my great-grandmother, Kidsie, is a Baird.
Yes.
That's right. Uncle Nat, you'd like to say anything? That's it. Okay.
Girls who were actually belonging to Montreville Weaver were going to have babies. He sent for his son-in-law, who was a doctor, and the mayor of Weaverville, and the president of the college, to come and to deliver the babies instead of just leaving it to chance how everything went. He cared enough for the people he had working for him and with him to do that.
Please share your feelings about slavery. You just shared with me.
I think slavery is an absolute abomination, and I've worked against it all my life. I was born in Mexico City, spoke Spanish, and moved to a place where people didn't like people who spoke Spanish, and I remember people who were opposed to my being there slamming doors in my face and treating me as if I were a second-class citizen. So I have a really strong feeling about how we treat one another and how we value each other.
You turn up Beaver Dam and go to Beaver Lake.
Yeah, we keep on consider all the way out to Weaverville too. Urban Avenue consider being out there Weaverville too. It's still in Weaverville Highway. They call it Urban Avenue too.
Yeah. It's in that's like we run.
Sure.
I ain't been out because I've been here in this nursing home.
Well, I may have met somebody from Tennessee, but when he met in Tennessee, the lady lived in Morristown, and I think I heard maybe went to church together. Y'all was in Tennessee, and she told me, she said, I met some of your cousins. And they said, who? Yeah. So,
Let you go along all right.
Yeah.
The stroke didn't affect you no more?
No, it didn't. But they said
What's been my light stroke?
it was like stroke. They said my mouth was drawn when they first realized there's something wrong with me. We was out in Murphy, and my nieces, they got back from the beach, and she looked at me. She said, Nat, I had stroke. I had a stroke.
And how old do you say you are?
96.
I'm 96.
And the only thing wrong with just your eyes.
I can't see.
But you can still understand and you still can talk.
Yeah.
But she still run them out.
Yeah, the Lord has been good to me. He been real good to me. Lots of people say, you mean don't nothing. I know I ain't affected no worship. I just can't walk. I can't stand up long at the time. So, yeah, you have to hold me when I stand up. I lost the use of, I lost the use of my feet and legs. Can't stand.
Well, these girls all look familiar. Hey, how you
Hey, all right.
Yeah, I heard that. They say,
I told you, we like up here, I said, we do come to it. They had a stroke.
what you call told me?
Who?
Gertrude.
I told Gertrude thing.
Gertrude. You told Gertrude. Gertrude told
That
me.
name, I told that, I was up there, I told her that name. I called Donna, and I said, hey, you heard that being sick? I said, no, I ain't heard nothing.
Again, your name again?
Mildred.
Mildred. So I'll let everybody can tell who we talking to.
Mildre.
Let me hear that again. Who was it? Give me those names again.
Frankie and Ruby G, Nat and James Edward
Thomas Jr.
and Thomas Jr.
Boy, you remember them all. You are so smart.